The cost of lash products are going up and everybody is panicking. But before you stockpile supplies or spike the price of your services, let's talk about what's really happening and what you could probably do instead. Hey y'all, I'm T the Brand, fellow lashpreneur and lash marketing coach. I help lash artists make content easy, marketing simple, and bookings consistent. Welcome to my channel. Today we are talking about the tariffs that are going to be the end of the lash world. No, I'm just joking. However, if we decide to move out of panic instead of strategy, it will be the end of a lot of businesses. And so I'm hoping that my insight, my perspective on the subject will help you stress less and strategize more. So let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, first things first, let's just kind of talk about what a tariff is. This is basically just a tax on imported goods. Everybody in the world is about to experience the change in the inflation of our products that we use day to day. And that means that in our industry, we will see a change in the products that we need to run our business. What this does not mean is that every item that you use will be taxed with a tariff, and it also does not mean that every vendor is going to immediately raise their prices. So you do have time to woosah a little bit and strategize instead of moving out of fear and panic and doing something that you really don't want to do that could really be more harmful than helpful to your lash business. And we can go ahead and get into that now. The first thing that I want to encourage you to do is to pivot. Do not panic. There are two fear-driven decision-making processes happening for a lot of lash artists within their business right now. Number one, being stock up and buy up all of the lash products you think that you'll need to last you the next year or four. And number two, spiking your prices of your services. I don't think that you should do either right now. Here's the reason why. For number one, you don't need to buy up a bunch of lash products. What will really help you is to evaluate or audit what you already have and what you use the most of. For example, if you use C, CC, and D curl lashes in both the 0.3 or 0.03 and a 0.05, it would not make sense for you to stock up on every length in those weights or diameters and all of those curls if you do not use a lot of all of those lengths. That's why I recommend that you audit what you have and what you use the most. For example, if you know that you use 12 millimeter lashes more than any other lash length, then you know, okay, let me go ahead in advance and get a couple of extra trays. And I emphasize the couple because you don't want to break the bank, and you also don't know how this is going to impact your clients. Now, it's not just the lash world that's experiencing tariffs and increase in cost of products. It's everybody, and you don't know how clients are going to have to adjust their budgets and adjust their lives. Maybe if she's a 2-week girly, she can only come once a month now, or maybe she may have to cut lashes completely. So what you don't want to do is end up with a bunch of product and nobody to use it on. So be strategic, be very smart, calculate what you're using. If you're a beginner lash artist and you're like, I don't even know where to start with what I need regarding lashes, I strongly recommend that you start with mixed trays. I use C, CC, and D curl. Yes, there are tons of other curls. Get what you want to get, but I recommend the mixed trays because you get a variety of lengths, usually from about 8 millimeters to either 15 or 16 millimeters in there. Those are the most common the most common lengths that we use as lash artists. So from those mixed trays, you can see, okay, I use more 14 millimeter lashes, or I use a lot of 14 millimeter lashes, and now you know when you buy a single tray, you can buy the 14 millimeter instead of buying 8 through 16 in all single trays if you're not going to be using those predominantly. So definitely audit what you currently have and go from there. And then number two, raising your prices. Pause and assess your client retention and your client experiences. If you are not about to offer them anything new or anything to change their experience, there is no reason to spike your price. Yes, you do need to make more money. However, I think that my opinion is just make sure everything is A1. If your lashes are not lasting 3 to 4 weeks, there's no need for clients to be paying extra money. You are trying to make sure that your business can still survive. And if you increase your prices and nothing changes for your ideal client or your current clients, they're not going to keep coming. They're going to find another lash artist, and who fits within their budget. I'm not saying that you should never raise your price. I'm not saying that you shouldn't raise your price. I'm just being very clear that if you are going to raise your price, you should make sure that the service value and experience reflects the price. On the same note as pricing, one thing that you should do is assess if you are already undercharging. If you are already undercharging for your lashes, then, or for your lash services and experience, if your retention is well, if your clients are coming into an environment that fits whatever they are looking for, it is a good idea to go ahead and raise your price. I can't tell you what to raise your price by, but the way that I picked my price point is going from the end goal and kind of working backwards. So for example, let's say I have a goal of $6,000 a month for lashes. What I would do is divide 16 by 4. That's how many weeks would be in the month. So now I'm at $1,500, $1,500. That's the goal weekly because of this $6,000 goal for the entire month. Now I'm going to decide how many days of the week am I going to work. Let's say 5. So we're going to take that $1,500 a week, divide that by 5, and now that's $300 a day. If you can make $300 a day, 5 days a week for 4 weeks, that's your $6,000. So I would say start at a realistic number for you and then work backwards so that you can really assess how to do your prices. And just a little further more into that, you need to make $300 a day. Consider how many services you're open to doing a day. Me, I can only take up to 3 people a day because baby, this back and this lower body be like, girl, what are you doing? So let's just say if that's the case, then I know that each service needs to be at least a minimum of $300. A minimum of $100. On a full day, if everything is $100, then I at least make my minimum. So I would say definitely that's a tip that you can use to assess your pricing right now. And if you feel like it is time to increase your price, it just gives you a little guide to on how to do that strategically and not just throw random numbers out there and hoping that they stick and keep you booked. Also, with making sure that your retention you have long retention or long lasting retention, this ensures that your client can get fewer fills. And when you can offer fewer fills and their lashes look good for longer, that's better value. And it's important to make sure that you can offer this value because now your client is able to trust you, they're able to trust your work, and they will be more willing to accept a price increase versus if you didn't have the retention and the experience, kind of mapped out and perfect for them. I'm not gonna say kind of mapped out if it's not perfect for them. So that is my little spiel. I had multiple points on this, but they all kind of just ran together, so I'm not going to make this video extra long. I just wanted to share what I think would be best for us. Price changes are going to happen. This is not the first time tariffs have happened and inflation has happened and the economy has been whatever not good it's been in the United States, and it will not be the last. But panicking is not going to help you at all. Panic doesn't pay you. Structure pays you. Strategy pays you. Stay focused, stay informed, and stay booked. I hope that this video was helpful. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'm happy to answer and give my best thoughts and opinions on it. I am not an accountant. I am not a CPA. I am not a financial advisor. I can just advise you based on my experiences and what I've done. Again, hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching. See y'all in the next one.